Hi, I'm Tom Jerry Holmes, the guy behind IRATA.ONLINE. And in light of the new 1.0 release of PLATOTerm, I thought it only appropriate to make a getting started video for Apple II users to get started with using PLATOTerm to connect to Plato services such as IRATA.ONLINE and cyber1.org. To connect to IRATA.ONLINE, we can of course download the PLATOTerm software from IRATA.ONLINE. Going to the main part of the site, we have a button here to be able to sign up, and we see the latest news here, which is of course the release of PLATOTerm for Atari, Commodore 64, Commodore 128, and Apple II machines, as well as links to various parts to download the various binary artifacts, or to go to the release page, which is a wonderful page which actually contains not only these binary links here and the source code, but also much needed documentation for things like key mappings. So going here, we can go ahead and go, for example, to the GitHub page. We can see the individual artifacts themselves, source code links, but we also see the documentation, giving an initial explanation of what PLATOTerm is and what it connects to, as well as the history behind what it connects to, as well as release notes for each particular machine. In our case here, we have the Apple II release notes, which show how to load PLATOTerm, what files are actually on the disk, and most importantly, the keyboard mappings for pressing various special keys that were present on the Plato keyboard, which need to be mapped to equivalent keys on the Apple keyboard. For most of these keys, they can be accessed using the control key, and the keys are mapped mnemonically, as you can see here. ANTS maps to control A, back to control B, etc. Special keys like shift require shift back and whatnot actually require you to press escape first, followed by control and the keys that you want to press. There is support for using a shift lock for machines that do not have a shift key, such as the Apple II or Apple II Plus machines. And yes, that does imply that PLATOTerm does work on Apple II Plus machines and Apple II machines with at least 48 kilobytes of memory and AppleSoft Basic. You'll of course also need a super serial card in slot number 2, and by default we're configured to 1200 bits per second for our baud rate, which can be changed in the configuration menu. Once we download the particular piece of software, we can of course take and go to the sign up page, create our account, and go from that point there. Once we do that, we'll go ahead and go straight to the demo here and insert the PLATOTerm disk into the drive. We will soon be greeted by a ProDOS 8 startup screen, followed by the PLATOTerm splash screen, as well as some status messages indicating that our serial port has been found and has been opened. At this point, it will be connected to our Wi-Fi modem, and we can immediately start entering commands to connect to the service. To start, it is customary to go ahead and send an attention to the modem so that we can verify that the modem is working correctly. Once we do this, we can dial in to IRATA.ONLINE by using the host name IRATA.ONLINE :8005 to indicate that we want to connect to port 8005. Once we do this, we'll see the initial banner from the host, followed by the login screen for IRATA.ONLINE. Now you'll see indicated here that not only can you log in as guest using the username guest and the group name of guest, but once you get your sign up request email sent back to you, you can go ahead and log in with your new username and password. Go ahead and log in with my account here. And we go ahead and enter in the appropriate group name. Group name in this case is Atari for me. And we get an opportunity to enter in our password. And no, the number of X's will not correspond to the number of keystrokes for your password. So don't be surprised if you see more X's than keystrokes. We go ahead and log in, and it will show us that we have dropped into the main menu here. And at this point here, you can start accessing the various parts of the service. Simply pressing a letter will take you to the appropriate area. Say, for example, D to go to Notes. And you'll see the appropriate menu here. And we'll start off here real quick just by going into the public notes file, which will show up here in just a moment. And yes, this is indicative of 1200 bits per second. Go ahead and press B to go to PB Notes. We can, of course, also, since we know the name of the notes file here, it's in quotes there, at any time throughout the system, we can press Go and go to PB Notes directly. We're greeted immediately by the notes file here and all the messages that are in the notes file, the newest, up to the newest 20 messages first. So we'll go ahead and look at the note number for the PLATOTerm 1.0 release, which is note number 54. Press Next, which is the Enter key. And there's our note content right there, ready to go. Of course, as you can see here, there are various indicators for the various Plato special keys. You can press Help, which is Control H, or Next, which is Enter. You can, of course, also press Control B for Back to go to the note before, or press Shift Back to go to the note's index. Or in this case, press Escape, Control B. Indicate shift back. And we go back to the node index. Now at any time you may wish to take an exit out of what you are doing and go back to the main menu or to log off of the system immediately. At that point, all you have to do is press Escape, Control S. In which case it says, okay, fine. Press data to continue working, or to press Shift Stop again, Escape, Control S to sign off. We'll go ahead and press Control D for data to continue. And we're back to the main menu. Pretty much the rest of the system works in much the same way, and it is much recommended that as you explore the system, to take and keep the list of keys near you until you get used to them. And of course, as you learn the various lesson names for the parts of the system, you can take and bounce to them very quickly. I would like to take this opportunity right here to thank everyone who helped test the 1.0 release of PLATOTerm. You have all been very invaluable in getting this piece of software out and available to the greater Apple II community, and not just to the Apple II community, but to the greater retro computing community at large. Thank you so much for your help. I could not have done it without all of you. And with that, I hope you guys take the time to not only explore the system on your own time, but to go to some of the various meets that are being planned in the near future to demonstrate various aspects of the system, as well as to teach how to write software on the system, as well as various meet and greet and play meets to play a lot of these various different types of games. I hope that through these actions here, we can take and build a vibrant retro computing community that we all can very much enjoy. So, I will be taking and making more videos to show off more aspects of the system. And of course, there is the overall demonstration video showing all of the major parts of the system. But I hoped to get this out so that Apple II users could quickly connect their Wi-Fi modems to their super serial cards and be able to use PLATOTerm to access the service effectively. And with that, thank you so much for watching.